Is it time to panic? That is the question on the minds of Kansas City Chiefs fans after the Bills stepped in and traded for Amari Cooper away from the Cleveland Browns. Well, Davante Adams has now found a new team with the New York Jets, and we're seeing the wide receiver trade market dwindle a bit while the Chiefs have their own question marks at the wide receiver position. We will discuss where the Chiefs go from here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Schultz here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we go any further in today's show, are you panicking about the Kansas City Chiefs right now and where they stand with just a few weeks to go before the trade deadline? If not, go ahead and like today's video. If you feel A-okay, hey, Veach and Andy, they're going to figure it out. Everything's Gucci. Everything's going to be fine. Go ahead and like the video. If you are panicking, then comment and tell me why you're panicking. A little survey to begin today's show. Let us know, and we'll get started here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Let us know, and we'll get started. Number one, the reality, I believe, of why you should not be panicking when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs and their situation right now is the reality of the situation for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's start off with the two trades that we saw over the last couple of days here. Davante Adams, for starters, was not going to end up with the Kansas City Chiefs. There was no chance that the son of the late Al Davis was going to let his best offensive player end up with the arch rival Kansas City Chiefs and help them try to win their third straight Super Bowl, make an intra-division trade and all that. There was just no way. It was highly unlikely that the Raiders were going to do that they were going to do business with the Chiefs anyway. So you factor that in, you're like, okay, I can live with that. But then you look at the Amari Cooper one, and that feels like the trade that was the one that got away. This was a guy that I had been talking about on this program over the last few weeks that seemed like it would make sense for Kansas City. When you talked about where the Chiefs were at when it came to draft capital, when it came to the salary structure, Amari Cooper seemed like a guy that could fit Kansas City's situation. But then, when you dive further, the Bills were in a situation where they had more they could offer than the Kansas City Chiefs when it came to their trade assets. So they had the leg up on getting a trade done without the Chiefs overpaying for Amari Cooper as well. So reality sinks in here. You weren't going to get Davante Adams, and the Bills had more that they could offer, a better deal that they could put out there compared to Kansas City. Those two things just didn't add up in both those realms. So I can live with not getting Amari Cooper or Davante Adams when you dive further and look into those circumstances. We'll go over the other reasons why I'm not panicking about the Chiefs wide receiver situation in just a moment, but want to hear from you guys. Our pin comment today: should the Chiefs trade for a wide receiver right now? Would you like to see them make a move? Type Y for yes, in for no. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in and let us know what you think. Y for yes, in for no, if they should make a move or not. Before we go any further in today's show, though, let's take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor. That is GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, GameTime has got you covered. Looking for tickets to your next Kansas City Chiefs game? GameTime's got that as well. They also have Sporting Kansas City, the KC Current. All your local teams and events are covered on GameTime. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. Then you choose your seat. See if you like that seat or not. Get the visual with their seat views, and then you're checking out on GameTime. With Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's a deal you don't want to pass up on. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? GameTime. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. The number 2 reason why I believe that Chiefs fans in the Chiefs Kingdom should not be panicking is that there is still time. Time is of the essence, folks. Although the Chiefs did not bring in Davante Adams or bring in Amari Cooper, there is still 3 weeks to go before we get to the trade deadline, and the Chiefs can figure some things out here. Remember what Andy Reid said a few weeks ago, that when they lost Rashee Rice, on top of losing Hollywood Brown, the plan in place was pretty clear for the Kansas City Chiefs, that, number one, they were going to evaluate the talent that they had and see how those guys stacked up, and then from there, when they got closer to the trade deadline, decide, all right, are we good enough with the guys that we have, or do we need to make a move? And with the trade deadline still a few weeks away, remember, they moved the trade deadline back from what it had been at previously. This all works out for Kansas City because twofold. You could either find yourself feeling really good or another injury potentially could happen. And then you put yourself in a position where you say, yeah, we got to do something. You look at the potential options on the trade market of the top receivers that are still available with the trade deadline nearing. You got T. Higgins of the Bengals. That one seems unlikely with the Bengals probably not wanting to help out the Chiefs. Diontae Johnson with the Carolina Panthers is another option as well. The Panthers, of course, one of the worst teams in football. They may more be likely to sell. Cooper Kupp with the LA Rams. The Rams have a lot of problems. Cooper Kupp is a little bit older now. And you think about replacing Rashee Rice. I know a lot of people talk about Xavier Worthy, but they're two completely different type of receivers. Kupp could come in and play that possession receiver role similar to what you lost in Rashee Rice. DeAndre Hopkins is a veteran that's out there, and he's done actually pretty decent with Tennessee. And then you have Darius Slayton with the New York Giants. The Giants, I don't think, are a very good football team. They got their own issues. They could be selling here when the deadline nears as well. So there's still plenty of guys to turn to. And then when you look at internally, I think one thing the Chiefs have to point to when it comes to optimism is that a guy like Juju, for example, has played much better than any of us expected. Most people thought that Juju did not have much left in the tank, and here we are. Juju's coming off a 100-plus yard performance against the New Orleans Saints. He's got 12 total catches for 147 yards this year, and that's the thing that when you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're going to make everybody else better. You're going to get the most out of those guys. So you feel a little bit better as far as that goes. I got one more reason why the Chiefs should not panic that we'll get to in a moment. But first, let's ask you, who is a player the Kansas City Chiefs should trade for? Who's a wide receiver that comes to mind of maybe it was somebody we talked about or haven't talked about on today's show? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know who you think that is. For the best Chiefs coverage around, you got to be subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We're bringing you our daily news and rumors, live shows on Tuesdays, watch parties on game days, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. It's all in one place right here on the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free. Stay up to date with up-to-the-minute happenings on your Kansas City Chiefs. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV to subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. The last reason the Chiefs should not panic about their situation when it comes to finding receiver help is that the Chiefs don't have a ton of cap space to spend anyway. So you don't have the flexibility to even potentially get some of those big-name receivers. You're going to need to make some movement if you were to pull in a big name, whether it's extensions or cuts, whatever it may be. You only have about $4 million anyway. And so with that in mind, if you were somebody that was sitting there hoping, man, I thought Tuesday was going to be the day the Chiefs get Amari Cooper or Davante Adams, they couldn't have done so anyway because the money wasn't there to do it. Now, do I expect some things to shift in the coming weeks? Yeah, there's still plenty of extension candidates out there like Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, and others that could get newer deals and free up some money potentially, but that hasn't happened just yet. And think about this, all right? Even if the Chiefs don't make the move that a lot of you were wanting them to do, and believe me, I get it, the Chiefs still have a winning formula to win a championship in 2024. and that's the fact that they can run the football well and they play great defense. That translates into December, into January, into February when you can do those two things. Kareem Hunt has been fantastic in his 2 games since rejoining the Chiefs, over 100 yards last week in the win against the New Orleans Saints before the bye. And then, might I remind you all, Isaiah Pacheco will be coming back sooner than later. And Pacheco was looking pretty decent before the injury when he rushed for nearly 100 yards in that win against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he's one of the top running backs in football. You get Kareem Hunt playing well, you add Pacheco healthy into the mix, and then you also have Carson Steele and Samaje Perine. All of a sudden, you got a recipe to win the games that matter with your run game and with that steady defense. You're in good shape either way. So, with all that said, I'm not panicking. I trust Brett Veach. I trust Andy Reid. They're going to figure out, and this team's going to be A-okay. What's your confidence level in the Chiefs offense right now? Scale it for me in the comment section, 1 through 10. I'm still feeling very good about this group. I'll go with an 8.5. Give me your answer in the comment section. Scale it for me. How confident you are in this Chiefs offense where things stand right now. Scale it 1 through 10. Weigh in. Let us know in the comment section what you think that is. If you enjoyed today's show, if you're like me, you're not panicking, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time right here on the Chiefs Report.